But you got to know your stuff so you can make the most amount of money and give yourself the most amount of opportunities. Are we telling a story? Now, somebody wrote on my Instagram, what a lucky shot. And I'm like, if you've shot wildlife, you understand that, yes, there's the luck factor of it that you have to have the animal cooperate with you, but it is wildlife photography is all about persistence. When you watch those National Geographic presentations, and they're doing their thing, I mean, we're seeing like 2% of what they record. We're not seeing the hours and hours and hours of them sitting there looking at each other like, geez, we haven't seen a lion in 10 hours. Where's the pride? Yeah, really, we don't see it. We see the tiny snippets. Are we telling a story? What does this picture tell? Say again? He does have rhythm, right? He's able to walk on one foot. He's got some rhythm. What else does it say?
He looks pissed off.
He looks pissed off. See, this is good. You're listing things about an animal, a tiny little bird. You're listing things about an animal. You're listing the attributes of portraiture. What else does it show?
Character.
Say again? Character, yes.
He's left something behind and he's going somewhere.
Yep. There's story to it, right? Johnny Walker. The composition's there using the rule of thirds. He's right up there in that top left quadrant, right? See, the difference is when you're taking these pictures, here's where the luck part comes in. You got to hope he doesn't fly away. That's the luck. That's where luck ends. That's where luck ends. Because the unlucky parts, the technical skilled parts that you have to know, you have to very quickly assess your exposure. Stop shooting anything but manual, please. Please, know your stuff. I'm not saying, please, ladies and gentlemen, whether or not you shoot manual has no bearing upon me. Doesn't bother me if you shoot automatic. I'm trying to give you my wholehearted advice. Know your stuff, because then it sets you free. It really does. So I get out of the car and I see that, I didn't say that, but obviously I got out of the car for the shot. And my arms aren't that long, right? But I get out of the car and I'm shooting this little guy, and part of it is persistence and just being still, not scaring the bird, getting right down on the ground. Same way I would shoot a child portraits, right? You want to get on the level with whatever you're shooting. See, if I shoot this coming down, I lose all perspective in the background. Does that make sense? And what you see many people do, if there's something on the ground, they just walk up, take a picture. It's a very flat image. There's no depth to it. So you got to understand that, right? I get all this beautiful background in there, right? I have the bird. Everything's in focus. You know how fast these little suckers move? Right? Everything's in focus. The composition, the rule of thirds, the lighting. And guess what? I stayed in the same spot hoping the birds would come. I promise you this, I stayed in the same spot because I knew that's where the lighting was best. I passed up several different shots of lions, and we all love taking shots of lions. I passed up many shots of lions. I drove past it. I'm like, oh, the lighting sucks. I'm not going to take it. Person out of the car was like, you're passing up lions. I'm like, the lighting sucks. I mean, truly. Because I'm there to capture something, right? But we have attitude, we have character, we have emotion, we have lighting, we have color, right? When people say, oh, Jason, your images pop, what do you do in post? I don't do anything in post. I mean, I do edit my shots, but the color isn't coming from my post work. The color is coming from my lighting. And this lighting is coming from God. And knowing when to shoot. Right? That's key. So are we telling a story? Do we capture something unique? Now, I've never seen an elephant eating a piece of wood. Looks like a toothpick. Are we telling something unique? Whether we're walking into a wedding, we're taking a picture of a grandfather or a father of the bride or a bridesmaid or a child of the wedding couple or whomever it may be. Are we telling something that's about them? See, the best pictures, I'll tell a story. 8-9 years ago, this is when I was a budding photographer, okay? Because I've been a pro for 11 years. 8-9 years ago, my sister wanted me to take pictures of my niece and my nephew. And so I was at my mom's house with my sister, and I pulled up, did the whole thing that all of us do as new photographers. I put up the portable backdrop, did the whole thing, and then we tried to get my niece and my nephew to cooperate. And let's just say they have a very healthy, conflicting relationship, okay? Well, I proceeded to try to coerce them to take pictures, bribe them to take pictures, do everything. And it eventually got to the point, again, I was a newer photographer, it got to the point where they got so frustrated they started bickering, and then they started fighting, and then they started both bawling, and then I started taking pictures. Okay? I started taking pictures. And when I took those pictures, my sister looked back and she said, "Those are my kids. Those are my kids." Not the fake kid sitting there with a cheesy grin, but that's actually my kid. That's the kid. That's how I'm going to remember them, right? I think that's what we need to look at. Are we showing who they are? Sure. Okay? How did I take this picture? I had the Play Memories app open on my phone. I turned on the self-timer, hoping the elephants wouldn't ram me as I'm taking this picture. And I would hit the trigger on my phone, wait 10 seconds, put the trigger inside my pocket and try and pose. But I share this image because this was an image I wanted of me, because this is how I see myself. Whether or not people like it, that doesn't matter. This is how I see me. And see, what I'm trying to tell you is your goal is to capture how people see themselves or want to see themselves. Does that make sense? See, when I walk into a crowd, when I walk into a scenario where I'm going to shoot someone, you know the first question I ask them, how do you see yourself? How do you see yourself? Are you silly? Are you goofy? Are you romantic? Are you sexy? Are you happy? I ask them about them. See, the first thing about portraiture is you have to sit them down and just start talking. Great portraiture should be like a one-on-one session where you're just chatting with someone and getting to know them. Great photography should be about relationships, right? So when I'm working with a subject, the first thing I do is I'll set the camera down. Well, when they first walk in, the camera's not even in my hands, and I'll just talk to them. So how's your day? How's your day going? What'd you do? What do you like to do? Depending on who they are, boy, girl, man, woman, whatever they are, ask them different questions. Get to know them. Little kid walks in, a mom is told either bribed or threatened the kid to do the photo session. The kid walks in, he clearly doesn't want to do the session. First thing you do is you sit the kid up on the chair, you talk to him, and you're like, "Hey dude, I know this sucks. You don't want to do this right now." The mom's like, "What did you just say?" And I'm like, "Dude, I know you don't want to do this. I'll get this over with as quickly as possible. We're just going to play. You don't have to do a photo session. We're just going to play." "Really?" "Yeah. And afterwards, your mom's buying you ice cream." And the mom's looking at me like, "What's going on?" And then I'll get that kid and I say, "Hey, do you have a toy?" "No, my mom wouldn't let me bring any toys." I'll find whatever they like and whatever I can that's at my disposal, and I'll put it in their hands and let them start playing. Then I'll take pictures and I say, "Hey, dude, look at me real quick." Boom. He starts laughing, starts having a good time. We have rapport, we have a connection. You cannot capture the emotion, you cannot capture who somebody is if you have no connection with them, guys. You can't. Just remember that. Remember that. I did a commercial shoot for a vet clinic. And what I had to do is, over the span of 2 days, I shot 60 different 60 different sets of pet owners with their respective pet. I had to quickly build a rapport with the pet owner and the pet. And I'm telling you, everything I'm telling you works. Working with the dog. The dog walks in. The dog's going to feed off your energy as much as it's going to feed off the pet owner's energy. It's all about energy and connection, right? I'm telling you, once you get the technical part down, this is what matters. Talking to people. I think one of the most frequent questions that I get from people is, how do you get people to do the crazy stuff that they do for you? And the answer is simple. They like me. It's that simple. The second piece to that is they know they're going to get a great shot. So because I have the technical part down, they're willing to do a lot. And because I'm willing to, usually if they're in the water, if they're in the mud, I'm in there with them. Again, rapport, relationship, we get the shots. And that's when you get somebody to have their true soul and their true self come out. Do we do a double take? Right? That's the beautiful Miss Maddie. Okay? Do we do a double take? We live in a world full of images. We live in a world where we're inundated, truly, like never before, inundated with images. We become desensitized to it. So how do we get people to look at our stuff? They're going through their Instagram, their Facebook, whatever it is, and then they look and they see your picture and they go, oh, wow, that's not something I see every day. See, the problem that we run into with our industry, we tend to all flock towards one thing, and then all of us are about 80-90% of the same, and then you wonder why you can't make money. You can't make money, guys, because you're vanilla. That's a reality. See, when everyone says nobody else is doing that, you're crazy. Awesome. You got to be that guy or gal when everyone's running this way, you're like, I think I'll go this way. Everybody, guys, I love natural light photography. I do. It's phenomenal. Again, I shot 2 weeks of it in Kruger. I love it. And for the record, I've said it many times, I'll say it again. I always choose natural light first. But about 80-90% of the industry is on that right now. And that's why prices go down. It's not because it isn't beautiful, it's just because it's what everybody does. Does that make sense? Be more, do more. See, my goal as a photographer always was very simple. I want to be able to do anything that my client requires of me. That's when you become a master. You're not a master photographer when you know one thing. You're really not. You're kind of a one-trick pony. But when you can walk into a scenario and it's like, we got really harsh light, great, grab me a diffuser. We don't have enough light on this side, great, let's get a reflector. Oh my gosh, look at the specular highlights, there's too much coming in. Okay, give me a diffuser, let's get a flash going. Let's overpower the sun, let's do high-speed sync. Oh, that's a really busy background, I don't want to shoot that. Great, let's shoot wide open. Have answers, have solutions. You should be, for every problem, you should be the solution person. For every problem, you have a solution. I'm telling you, that is how you make it. I promise you that's how you make it. Who here works out of photography in another field? So the rest of you guys are full-time photographers? Awesome, so we have about a 50-50 split. In the other part of the world where you're not photographers, the people who are, I guarantee you, the people who are successful at your businesses, and when I worked in hotels it was the same, the people who rise to the top are the problem solvers. Every time. You say, oh, well, Joe, if there's a problem, call Joe. Or call Mary, or whoever it is. If there's a problem, call that person, they'll fix it. That person's getting the promotions, not you. Or maybe you are that person and you're getting the promotions. But the world of photography is the same. The world of photography is just a bunch of problems that you have to solve. That's all it is. So know what the problems are, but better yet, know how to solve them. So ask yourself and be honest. Be honest. Be honest with yourself, because if you're not going to progress above where you're at right now. You don't have to answer this out loud. Ask yourself, do your images make people do a double take? Not your wife, not your girlfriend, not your boyfriend, not your mama. Random people stop when they see your shots? And if they don't, your objective is to make them stop. Figure out where you're lacking technically. Fix that first. And then start telling stories and capturing attitude and character. Have your lighting, your composition, everything else down. I'm telling you, you'll start making people do double takes. Because it really is more than lighting, smoke, and mirrors, guys. Number of years ago, I was doing a lot of videos with high-speed sync and off-camera flash, right? Why did I stop doing a lot of those videos? It's very simple. Other people started following what I did in the YouTube world, and all the YouTube world was awash with high-speed sync flash videos. And I'm like, okay, I'm on to the next. See, that's the way. On to the next. On to the next. So learn, my friends. Your challenge is to tell a story and to show the world something new. Why do you think I chose this image? What animal is this? It is a hyena. In the world of cartoons and stories and movies, are hyenas bad guys or are they good guys? Bad guys, right? They're the scum of the earth, kind of like rats. You'll see in my safari video, I went one night, I was driving back to the rest camp trying to not get in trouble because you're not supposed to go in there late. This beautiful creature was on the road. And I'm fully aware it's a wild creature. I didn't get out and try to pet it. But I sat in my car with this beautiful creature for about 25 minutes and just did shot after shot after shot. And to watch an animal like this show a piece of its soul and show a hyena showing that it could be so submissive and calm shows the world something new. Now, for those who have shot wildlife, you'll know hyenas are not evil. But my point is, I even called friends and family back home, and I'm like, I just had this amazing portrait session with the hyena. They're like, oh, we hate hyenas. And I'm like, this creature was so amazing. You see my point? Your job is to create something new and to show the true value in your subjects. Oh, hey, you guys still there? Hello? Talking to you. Really, you're still there? That's awesome, guys, thanks. If you want to continue this learning online, go to patreon.com/JasonLanier Photography, and you can learn alongside me. You can watch my screens, you can edit with me, do all of it from anywhere in the world on any computer, guys. It's the best way to learn if you can't make it to a workshop. If you're crazy and you want to see me in person and you're ready for it, then go to www.jasonlanier.com/register. You can find a workshop near you and we will have an absolute blast together. It's about inspiration, it's about photography, it's about life, and it's about finding the passion in all of them. So again, guys, if you want to learn online, if you can't make it to something in person, patreon.com/JasonLanier Photography. And if you want to learn in person, jasonlanier.com/register. Now, the last time I did this, let me see. I'll just do it with my finger this time. I love doing that. It just pisses off the pros. I'll talk to you guys later. Peace.